بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وآله. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us and from you the good deeds, inshaAllah ta'ala, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us and enable us to do more of the good deeds in this blessed month. Today I wanted to talk about a very important pillar of Islam which sometimes is misunderstood or confused, and that is the pillar of zakah. Zakat is a pillar of Islam. We know that from the Quran, we know that from the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is part of the duty of the Muslim to pay zakat, and zakat is not just a financial obligation, but it is also, importantly, it's an ibadah. It's an ibadah, so you have to have the right intention. You should be doing it with sincerity to get the reward of the zakat. So rather than your money just coming out from your pocket or bank account or whatever, it is actually something you'll be rewarded for, inshallah ta'ala. Now, zakat means linguistically purification, or it means growth. Because when you give zakat, you are purifying yourself, you are purifying your wealth, and you are inshallah growing as you are doing that. Now essentially zakat is paid in different categories of wealth. It is paid on the financial money that you own, the cash if you like, the sterling, the dollar, the gold, the silver, whatever it is. You have to pay on wealth, your accumulated wealth. This will include savings in your bank account, it will include money in your pocket, it will include also debts. If you have loaned somebody some money and you are anticipating that this money will come back, this all will pay zakat. So what does that mean? Just to stop on that point, if you have given somebody £1,000 as a debt, and you is due to pay you back, say even in 5 years, now that £1,000 is yours, isn't it? It's with somebody else at the moment, but it is still yours, so you still have to pay the zakat on it, unless that person is such severe debt crisis that you say, actually there's probably no chance I'm going to get this money back. Then you can discard it from the zakat amount. Obviously, zakat is also paid on other things, which we'll not discuss in detail because I don't think it's applicable. I don't think there's any farmers amongst you here. So paying zakat on the fruits and the seeds and things like that are grown. Or some of you might be herdsmen with your flock of sheep in your garden, or the camels, or the cows, or the like. And again, whilst I don't think there's many of you like that, so we will not discuss that either. There is another form of zakat which is paid on things that you find, any treasures that you find. Again, I'm not going to discuss that. So with regards to money and wealth, and then the other aspect is regards to stocks and shares. So if you have money in your account, and that money is like essentially a savings money, so it's been there for a whole year, a whole lunar year, then you have to pay zakat on that, which is equivalent to 2.5% of whatever you own. This will also include, like I said, the debts. It will also include money that is essential assets, so it's something that is there of value. This could be a savings account, it could be a pension account as well, it could be anything like that. If you have brought so in terms of finances, that's what it is. Now, gold and silver, question on that, especially for women. Do I have to pay zakat on my gold and silver, that my jewelry? Now, if you own gold nuggets, or you own these gold bars, now that's obviously not jewelry. You're not going to be wearing a gold bar around your neck, so that is actually like money. But if you have jewelry, earrings, necklaces, etc., there might be a Mr. T amongst you with all this gold around his neck. Now, if it is something that you are wearing, so the woman is wearing the jewelry, so it is used, then according to the majority of the scholars, you don't pay zakat on that. So any jewelry that is being used, you don't pay zakat. If, however, there is jewelry which is not being used and it is only being worn, it's only being bought for the sake of keeping as a treasure, you know, it's almost like a saving. I know some women, probably not in the UK, but maybe in the Middle East and maybe in the South Asia and etc. They actually buy, you know, whenever they work or they have some sort of money savings, they change that. Rather than keep that money in the bank, they buy it as jewelry. So then they say, well, this is jewelry, I can wear it, but at the same time it's gold. Gold keeps its value, it's not going to lose. Now, if you're buying the jewelry for the sake of just keeping it as a treasure, then you're going to have to pay zakat on that. The other thing is that the amount of jewelry has to be reasonable, and it has to be custom, according to custom, what is acceptable for a woman in that society. So we know, for example, women in India or Pakistan, whatever, they like gold, they wear a lot of gold. But a woman maybe in the UK might not wear as much gold. You know, might have a couple of earrings, one or two rings, not a lot of gold. Yeah, it's not. So it's customarily what is acceptable. So if it's customarily, if you are like a Mr. or Mrs. T, and you customarily wear all these gold chains, you know, around your neck, and it's worn. But again, I would say Mr. T is an exception to the rule. He's not. You know, he's not. You don't find people usually going around like that. It's not a norm. So it's about the custom. That's the main thing. If it's, you know, probably at one time, you know, a person would think, no, I'm going to make sure all my zakat is worn, all my gold is worn, so I don't pay any zakat. So then you put all your gold and everything on you to try and avoid paying zakat on that. So we have to be looking at the customs in that regards. Another question that is usually raised is regards to if I'm buying and selling, I have stocks, I have shares, maybe I have property, etc. Now, if you have things which are considered tools of your trade, you are a plumber or a carpenter or whatever. Sometimes you might have tools which are worth, you know, 5,000, maybe even 10,000 pounds. You might have bought a van, which is, you need it part of your trade. It's not your domestic van. So these kind of tools, even though they might be they're very expensive, you don't pay zakat on them because they're considered tools of your trade. And in that regards as well, if you have bought a house for the sake of renting the house, only renting it, then you don't pay zakat on that value. Say you bought a house for £200,000 and your purpose of that purchase is just to rent the house out and get that. So this becomes like a tool now. So you don't pay zakat on that. However, if you buy a house intending to sell it, meaning renovate it and sell it, now the house has become like an item. It's like a trading item. Therefore, you're going to pay zakat on that. If that house stays within your property, within your portfolio for more than a year. And similarly goes with anybody who has any businesses as well. You have to basically assess how much value of stuff you have after a year, and whatever you assess the value of that, you're going to pay according to that, inshallah, the amount of zakat. Now, going back to importance about zakat. Zakat is an ibadah. It's something that has rules and regulations. It's not something that, unfortunately, some people have misplaced the whole concept of zakat. And unfortunately, I say this unfortunately, but there are lots of ulama today who also changed the categorization of zakat and have put a lot of things inside the zakat category, which again is very, very... I don't want to use the wrong word here, but it's a question mark. Let's say at least a question mark. So, for example, zakat money cannot be used to build a masjid. It cannot be used to build a school. It cannot be used to dig a well. these kind of things is not where you would give zakat money. Zakat money has specific categories which are clearly mentioned in the Quran in Surah At-Tawbah, and that's where the zakat money should be given. I know some people have entered the concept, the issue of da'wah, and zakat can be given for helping da'wah and etc. And then they have just widened the scope very much, and so you have to be careful. What I say is that, if somebody's got zakat and they want to pay zakat, then why don't they just give charity? And it's not like it's a big deal. If you got you got £1,000 you want to give, you are only giving it as a zakat. Why don't you just give some charity? Sadaqah you can give however you want. Similarly, we have seen organizations use zakat money to sponsor activities which again are not zakatable activities, and that has to be a very important aspect that a person takes into consideration when thinking about the whole concept of zakah. And remember, zakah is an ibadah, so it needs an intention. So you give if you give a charity to somebody, say somebody asked you some money, you gave them £100 as a charity, and then after you went home and you said, oh, actually, I need to pay my zakah, I'll just count that 100 as a zakah. No, it doesn't work like that, because zakah is a charity and as an ibadah, and the ibadah has to have the intention accompanying it at the beginning of it, or at least close to it. So your intention has to be, I'm giving this as zakah the moment that you give that as zakah, for that to be correct. I hope that's been useful. If you have any questions on zakah, please do send them through. Inshallah, we hope to answer